Life on the Hill used to bustle. But coronavirus changed all that. And social distancing means many lawmakers are working from home. Now, an historic proxy vote has taken place in the House for the first time, with members casting votes on behalf of colleagues who cannot travel.
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Carol Maloney,
I inform the House that Mr. Lipinski,
Mr. Serrano, Mrs. Lowy, Mr. Tonko will vote yea.
House Republicans are worried it could change Congress forever.
You're going to do something that no member has ever allowed to do before. You're going to change history, not for the better. If you can make this type of rule, you can make anything. People with glasses can't vote.
And a GOP lawsuit aims to unpick those changes.
It says the senators and representatives of each house shall be privileged from arrest during their attendance at the session of their respective houses.
Certainly, if you ask Democrats, they think there's a little, you can't really take what Republicans are saying at face value, that they instead have a pretty vested interest in, as the minority, obstructing the will of the majority in an institution where the majority rules.
Congress has grappled with how to do business since the coronavirus lockdown began. Representatives had hoped to pass an early coronavirus spending bill with unanimous consent. They were livid when a single Republican, Thomas Massie of Kentucky, forced the House to return to Washington during the height of the pandemic.
Mr. Speaker, I came here to make sure our republic doesn't die by unanimous consent in an empty chamber, and I request a recorded vote.
A lot of members flew overnight, drove overnight to show up and get the numbers necessary to clear the bill. And I think that that's one reason why the House Democratic leaders looked for alternatives in terms of figuring out how to conduct votes without necessarily bringing everyone back in this manner.
If you think of remote voting like now, it's necessary. We should probably have it. There should be some way for members to participate remotely, because literally congregating risks health of the members themselves. But in a long-term circumstance, imagine members like not wanting to come to DC as often because they can just remote in. They don't want to be a part of the process because they can just remote in. Like, they can vote from their couch rather than like the actual chamber of Congress. And if they remove themselves in that way, well, then there are a lot of long-term legislative consequences, which is that members are removing themselves from the process voluntarily.
This isn't the first time Congress has tried to figure out a remote work game plan. After 9/11 and the 2001 anthrax scare on Capitol Hill, a hearing was held on how members could carry on their work if a national emergency took them out of DC for long periods.
Our office in the Longworth office building was one of 3 offices that have shown trace elements of the anthrax bacillus.
But the idea of an e-Congress didn't make it far. Democrats say that the circumstances are extreme, and representatives will return to work as soon as the House physician deems it safe. But what is clear is that the coronavirus pandemic hasn't assuaged partisan politics in Congress.